Okay, so here we are, Belfast City Centre, the grand unveiling of our new banner. Let's see. So, anyway, let me see. Take our quick survey, 3 simple questions, help save animals, no donations required. So we will see how we get on today. And yeah, now we play the waiting game. Trying to obviously help save animals, as it says on the banner.
Yeah.
Are you interested in having a bit of a chat real quick?
Okay.
Cool. So thank you very much for stopping. The first question then would be, are you an animal lover, and if so, why?
Because I like to pet them.
Say that again?
I just like them. I don't know, like petting them. I think they're interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Are you an animal lover, and if so, why?
Yeah, so I have a wee doggy that I had to leave behind when I moved to Belfast, so it's been like so heartbreaking. Her name's Bella.
Oh, Bella, we love you and we think about you every day. Would you say that you're an animal lover, and if so, why?
Yes, because they're cool.
Because they're cool?
Yeah, because like pets are like good to have and they're just like family.
Yeah, awesome, okay.
Pets are the best friend you can ever have.
Wow, I'm loving it.
Same.
Yeah, okay. So we're all in agreement there, okay? Are you a guardian of any animals? Do you care for any animals, or have you?
Yeah, I have a dog.
Okay. We have to shout out your dog. What's your dog called?
Lola.
What type is Lola?
A Lhasa Apso. She's a wee bitch.
Quite literally. Are you a guardian to any animals at present then, or are you just because you had to come here, like you're?
Yeah, so it would be my partner's parents that's looking after her now.
Okay. She's in good hands.
She is, yeah.
And we care about animals being in good hands, of course. Does anyone here have any companion animals?
Yes.
What do you got?
I got a lizard and a dog.
Okay, cool.
I have a fish, 2 guinea pigs, a dog and a bearded dragon.
Wow, you'll be opening up a pet store soon.
We shih tzu.
Okay,
A
lovely.
wee shih tzu.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Are you aware of any animal abuse that you're actually paying for?
What?
Are you aware of any animal exploitation that you would be paying for?
No.
Okay. Do you pay for animals to be exploited at all that you're aware of?
I don't know. I wouldn't know either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Are you aware of like what industries exploit and kill animals?
Not as much
That-
as it
that
should
customers
be,
are paying
but
for?
try and not use like makeup products
Of course.
that animals have been tested on, but I don't do it as much as I should.
From the industries that abuse and kill animals, like if I was to say like the meat industry, the dairy industry, the egg industry, the wool industry, like racing, zoos, aquariums, all those sorts of things, like are you aware that in basically all those industries where animals are used, they're also abused and killed?
Anymore. I used to love the zoo, but now I'm like a bit aware that it's not really right.
Awesome.
So I try not to go at anything like that anymore.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of like, would you say then that you'd be against animal abuse? Would that be fair
Of
to
course,
say?
that's what I didn't think you asked me, but yeah, completely.
Yeah, cool. So where would you say then that you're aware of, like, you know, when you're saying I could do better, like what are you talking about that you're aware of the
I
abuse?
still eat fish,
Okay.
so I'd like to stop eating fish.
Yeah.
And advocate a bit more. I don't drive, but when I drive, I want to volunteer in like shelters
Like a
and
sanctuary,
stuff.
or
I want
yeah.
to actually do something that I'm putting in a bit of time.
Awesome. Would you say that you're against animal abuse?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of the industries in society that would be exploiting and killing animals unnecessarily?
Yeah, a small part. I try not to look into it though, because I know it would just make me really sad, you know, so I just...
Might make you change for the better.
So, yeah.
So said industries would be the likes of, say, the meat industry, the dairy industry, the egg industry, killing animals for their skin, you know, turning them into shoes and rugs, like supporting,
animal testing and stuff.
yeah, testing, circuses, horse racing, dog racing, all the ways animals are just used and exploited. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I wouldn't really agree with it. I wouldn't really eat much meat and stuff like that.
In terms of like taking action, what do you think that you could do to stop like animal abuse that's sort of within your power?
Well, like I would already like kind of like I wouldn't really buy like cruelty like see like makeup and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
so
that,
your
yeah.
cosmetics, you would consciously look for them not to be tested on animals.
Yeah, and like I wouldn't like I said, I wouldn't like eat much meat. Like it wouldn't really appeal to me at all.
yeah.
You know.
What I would say is like there's so many animals that are just locked away from society that we don't see, and we often only see the byproducts of their suffering. Say for example the meat on the plate, but we don't see the terrified animal forced onto a truck, brought to a slaughterhouse, stabbed or shot and chopped into pieces. So yeah, eating meat for sure, that's definitely one of them. I guess what it is we're seeking to make people aware of is the fact that as human beings we have rights. We have certain rights from the day that we're born, but animals on the other hand don't really have the right to their own life, for example, because if they had that right, you know, we wouldn't be able to easily exploit them and just use them and abuse them and then ultimately just murder them. So we're trying to foster the idea that animals are deserving of their own right to life. Would you agree that they deserve that?
I would, yeah.
Yeah. The reality is that we live in a society that exploits animals every single second of every day for the likes of meat, for the likes of milk, eggs, cheese, dairy, all these sorts of things. Leather, wool, fur, silk. People pay for animals to be exploited in zoos, horse racing, dog racing, aquariums, all these things that are just sort of in the background and we're just busy getting on with whatever we're doing and we don't ever stop to think about that. But so that's the reality and it is very grim. But the reason that we've designed it in a sense for animal lovers is because we like to believe that people who are open-hearted to animals are the first to kind of connect that dot. And just as I've sort of opened that up, like does anyone have any thoughts or opinions on the likes of like those industries that exploit animals, or has anyone ever thought about that before? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
I've never really thought about it. Like, I wouldn't really know about it because I don't hear much about it.
yeah. Appreciate
So
that.
I wouldn't know.
What about yourself?
No, I don't think it's right, to be quite honest now.
What happens to animals just being used and exploited?
I don't think it's right at all. No, definitely not.
I'm the same.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement. What do you think that we could do about it to affect some positive change then?
Like, if you're going to a zoo, like, if you're gonna have to do it, then make the space bigger or
Okay.
something, or just not do it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so just let animals be free.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I love that.
Make people more aware because, like, not many people would know about it.
agree.
And then if more people were aware, changes could be made.
Awesome. That's so true. That's exactly what we're doing today. So
Make people more aware of this, and yes, the animals should be made run free. I don't think it's right on the animal. I have a friend at the moment who just got rid of 2 dogs because they just peed on the floor and just got rid of 2 dogs. It's not on.
nah, that's just awful. I guess. Yeah. I guess. Let me think. Let me see. I'll give you a little card here. So we had.
Instagram page.
Yeah, it's on the side. We basically advocate that if people who say that they're against animal abuse and don't want to pay for it, just do a bit of research, look into the industries that support that, and then embodying that to the fullest is essentially respecting that animals deserve to have their own rights, and the first one being the right to their own life.
Yeah.
But basically the philosophy that ties in with that is veganism, and in this society like that we live in, there's a vegan version of everything now.
It's just a bit expensive, and if you don't have the time, unfortunately, planning meals, it can be quite difficult.
yeah.
That's my issue.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
So I've been vegan 6 years now.
Okay.
So I've had to put in that time and check out the expenses. So generally it's a bit mythical, like in the sense that the time it takes you to prepare a meal that you already know how to make, all right, because you already know how to make it, is a bit quicker. But when you put in the time to learn how to make new meals, even if it wasn't like a vegan meal for the sake of the point, you'd still want to put in that time to make that meal.
Yeah.
But the motivation here is animals are literally suffering and being killed, and they're completely innocent,
It breaks my heart.
and they
I
haven't
get really
done.
upset by it.
Well, this is really, really good. So
Yeah.
you're an ideal person to want to make that switch, because the best feeling about going vegan for you is that you're no longer paying for that abuse.
Yeah.
And obviously the best benefit for the animals is it's not happening to them because of you.
Yeah.
So
Sad you can't get everybody to think like that.
that's it. But see, that feeling, that's what made me go vegan as well. Like I was a animal eater for most of my life, and then that feeling of like this makes me so sad. I just never let that die.
You just need to kind of watch it again. You forget about it. People
Yeah.
don't want to watch it though. When I show people videos, they go, "I don't want to see that."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Well, why?"
Yeah, doesn't that say something in and of itself? Like, someone said that we should at least bear witness to what we pay for animals to be forced to endure.
People don't want to see it.
Yeah.
If like that's what I said, slaughterhouses had glass doors.
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
would go.
exactly.
That's it.
But I would say, if you really want to embody that to the fullest, being against animal abuse, that in action is basically just veganism, and it might take you a minute to learn some new recipes. And what was your other one? So, oh yeah, the money. So generally, like, I don't know, like there is certain items that are maybe a bit pricier.
It's cheaper itself if you're actually going plant-based. I mean, if you're just plant-based diet.
Yeah. Like Whole Foods.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a ton to save there.
Yeah, I just need to stick with it a bit more, try it and give up
Yeah.
the fish.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know why my brain's said that's okay.
Well, we have this idea that we need to eat fish to get omegas, and you can't get omegas from plants, even though they come from plants in the first place, like every nutrient or vitamin. I mean, you could just take an algae supplement and get it that way. But yeah, ultimately, like, veganism is a philosophy that seeks to embody just respecting others beyond human beings. Animals, to me, qualify as others. Would you agree?
Well, I think they're better than people. So
Let's keep that between us, but I'm on the same side as you there for sure. So yeah, I don't feel like there's much work to do with you, because typically there's like an argument stage that we would progress through, like, don't you need meat for protein and all this?
No, I know all that. You don't need that, yeah.
Awesome, that's so good.
It was lovely to meet you.
What's your name?
Olivia.
Olivia Thomas. All I'd say, if you're going to watch anything, the first one there is called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear on YouTube. That changed me. All the rest are on Netflix pretty much.
Okay.
That changed me from an animal.
That's the one that
Sick, you've seen that?
me,
Yeah. So that speech changed me from an animal eater to an activist, and now I'm doing something for animals.
Okay, I'm glad
So
you're doing it.
check it out.
Keep going.
Have a great day. Thanks. Don't know if you've ever heard of veganism before, but it's basically just respecting animals' rights, so much so that you're willing to look for an alternative. So say for the little meat that you eat, obviously that animal still had to totally die.
Yeah, I get that.
And to that animal, that was their entire life, even though it's maybe just a little bit of meat, as you say. But in terms of working that into being more effective with your belief of, I'm against animal abuse, and like you were saying, I don't really like to see that because it upsets me. It was kind of similar to the conversation I was having with the lady before. She said the same thing, and the way to allow that to give you motivation to change your behaviour is, like, for whatever animal abuse that you are paying for, just bear witness to what you're putting the animal through. And use that as motivation to say, like, I don't want to pay for this anymore. Like, because if it hurts for us just to watch it, think about what it's like for the animal actually going through it, you know. And that's all veganism is. It's really just saying I respect animals enough to say I'm no longer going to participate in their exploitation or their use. Do you think there would be anything stopping you from embodying that?
Well, like, I can't stop it, like, in the house. Like, he would eat loads of meat and stuff, like, you know, like, this would only be now for me myself.
Yeah.
But in terms of other people, like I can't really.
No, me either. Part of this is, like, it's basically just the individual that I'm speaking to. Obviously, I can't change him. I can't change you either. But all we're doing is just being messengers for animals who can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you believe in that, like, I would just encourage you to explore that a bit more.
Yeah, of course.
Can I give you a card?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So, like, I used to eat animals, and I seen a speech. It's called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. I seen it on YouTube. You can take a card. I'm sorry. And it changed me from, like, someone who didn't ever really think about what animals went through, to learning about it and seeing what they went through, and deciding that it is quite sad, it's awful, animals can't do anything about it to help themselves, so the least that I could do is make better choices to stop me paying for their suffering.
Yeah.
So if you believe in animal rights, I would say the logical step is to embody the vegan philosophy.
Yeah, I understand.
You want to go a few rounds, or?
Yeah. We actually need
Yeah,
to go.
no, that's okay. I appreciate stopping anyway.
Very well.
Thanks again, and have a great day. Animals don't even have the right to their own life. They're born for a purpose, they're used, and then they're killed, and the cycle continues. The thing that we can do from being in agreement that animals deserve rights to actually doing something to help animals is basically choosing to live a vegan lifestyle. Feel free, does anyone have any counter arguments or any sort of other points of view?
I think it should sort of way try to be stopped in some way, because it's definitely not fair on the wee animals.
Yeah.
And it's not. I'm very much against all this. So yeah.
What is it about animals that makes you feel that way, would you say?
Well, the animals, they can't speak for themselves. They can't tell you what's right. They can't tell you what's wrong. So then a decision is made.
Yeah.
All right, if this animal is sick, we'll just put it down.
Yeah.
You know.
Or if they pee, we just get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I get you. That is it, totally. Animals can't give consent, and they're innocent. They haven't done anything wrong. So we're forcing these choices upon them, forcing these beliefs on them, and they're just there to be used and taken advantage of. What do you think would be stopping you embracing that philosophy and making some changes in lifestyle?
I don't know. Nothing really.
Nothing.
I don't really.
You could like pick certain nights of the week at dinner, like not have meat and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Instead of just going like vegan all of a sudden, you could like work your way to it
Yeah.
and go from like 7 meals with meat in it to like 5.
Yeah.
Which would help.
And then with the intention of going fully vegan at a point, yeah? Yeah, of course. That's really good feedback.
Personally speaking, I don't like meat at all. The odd time, I mean, it is only the odd time. I just don't like it at all.
What is it with not liking it that would make you take it the odd time?
I just don't like it, because you know where it's coming from. It's the same when you're out shopping and you see a van that's full of cows. They're all going to get put down. So you know, yeah.
And you're probably aware then that there's nothing in meat that we need. We can get it from plants. We can get it from other sources. Yeah.
I don't know how to shut up.
What about yourself?
No, I'm not saying. Okay.
You're good. I appreciate you stopping. I just want to say thanks very much for giving me your input. Definitely feel the same. I used to eat animals for about 23 years of my life, and I seen a speech on YouTube called "The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear," and it changed me overnight.
I actually know someone now at the moment who, as I said to you before, has just got rid of the dogs because it peed, and now they've went and got a cat, and the cat will get 3 out too once it pees.
It all comes from that same philosophy of like thinking that animals are here for us, and as soon as they do something that we don't like, we can just get rid of them like a broken toaster, you know. But it all stems from that same idea that animals are here for us to be used, whereas we're here to say, we're here to say animals are here with us, they're not here for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Animals are like family.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't get rid of a pet just because it did something naughty. I have a pet dog, it's only a puppy. There's done multiple things, but like we still love it, so we keep it. But I know there's people that would just like get rid of it because they can't be bothered.
No, it's okay. Thanks for stopping. I really appreciate the feedback. And just take a card and check out that speech.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Cheers. Thanks again. Were you together? Were you? No. Okay. So feel free to go, whenever you want to go. But I just wanted to say something on what you just said there. Isn't it quite interesting that we treat certain animals like family members, and certain animals, we pay for to be murdered, and then we eat their dead bodies? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. A dog would be a pet, and then a chicken's food.
Yeah.
Like that's just, how does it work?
Like
It doesn't make any sense.
I know our friend
it's
like
just
works
weird.
on a farm, and like a dog would be like my pet, but like a cow's hers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like, but for us it wouldn't be like that. It would be like, oh, that's like dinner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But they're like our best mates instead of like a dog.
It's true, and it's just largely how to do with how you're socialised. She grew up around farm animals. But there's people in other parts of the world that farm dogs and eat dogs, and we would think that's really crazy. But now I just think it's all crazy, because from the animal's point of view, whether that animal is a dog or a cow, none of them want to have their head cut off and end up on someone's dinner plate, So I'll just leave you with the idea that animals can't speak up for themselves. And if you say that you're against animal abuse, just make better choices, which is, the vegan option, and just try and live a vegan lifestyle as soon as possible. I know you're obviously both at school and you probably don't do the grocery shopping or cook the dinner. But where you can affect positive change for animals, just keep them in your heart and in your mind, and I promise you won't regret it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Have a great day.